Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. A happy Wednesday to everybody. And since it is Wednesday, that means it's time for another weekly top 10 countdown. This will be our first top 10 countdown in the month of June, being that today is June the 5th. And this one is about college football as we continue counting down the days to the 2024 minor league football season. Yes, that is now what I am calling college football, since they are all getting paid now. It's no longer college football, it's minor league football. But this is one of those categories that to me doesn't mean anything. I think it's the most useless category in all of college football. So I'm not doing this for me because I couldn't care less. And after I give you the top 10, I'll explain why it doesn't mean anything to me. But I know to the hardcore college football fans, every category and every stat is important and it means something. So for all of you that think this is an important stat and think that it matters, let's go ahead and get into this week's top 10 countdown. It's the top 10 based on FPI. And in case you're not sure what that stands for, that is Football Power Index. And this was updated yesterday, so it's about as current as you can get. So the top 10 right now as of yesterday based on FPI: number 10, Missouri. Number 9 is Tennessee. Number 8, Oklahoma. Number 7, Notre Dame. And number 6, Penn State. Again, 10 through 6, Missouri, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Penn State. Number 5, Alabama. Number 4, Ohio State. Number 3, Texas. Number 2, Oregon. And number 1 is the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, let me explain why the FPI to me means absolutely nothing, and it's the dumbest stat and dumbest category and most useless category in all of college football. First of all, you're doing one right now. Well, how do you know who's good and who's not when nobody's played a game yet? So you're basing these teams, I'm assuming, according to how good or bad the teams they played last year were. But last year has nothing to do with this year. So that's one reason. But more importantly than that, I think it was Notre Dame, but I could be wrong. But there was a time last year, probably around the weekend of Halloween, maybe the first weekend in November, where I saw a list of the current FPI, and there was a team that was number 7, and they were like 4-4 or 5-4 or 4-5, something like that. And I was like, who cares? Who cares if you're number 1 based on the Football Power Index when you have 5 losses? You've accomplished nothing. And that's one thing I've never understood about when people pull for a team that wins nothing. Whoever they are, whatever conference they're in, they always try to say, oh man, our schedule is just so tough. Instead of coming out and saying, hey, my team's got to get better. My team's got to improve. You know, we can't be doing this. It's always, oh man, our schedule's tough. And I've never understood that, and I never will. You can try to explain it to me all you want to. But if I played for a team, I would rather play 12 of the worst teams in college football and go 12-0 or 11-1, because if you go 12-0 or 11-1, you're going to be in the playoffs, than I would have a schedule where I play 6 okay teams and 6 great teams. Because chances are, if you play 6 great teams, you're going to lose at least 2 games, and maybe even 3. All of a sudden, you're 9-3. You missed the playoffs. Who cares how tough your schedule was? You're not in the playoffs. You're not going to make the playoffs based on you had a tough schedule. No, guess what? You lost too much. So I've never understood that at all. That's just something fans say when they don't want to come out and say, hey, my team's got to get better. They blame it on the schedule, just like when their team loses, they'll blame the refs. No, guess what? You just lost. And that's why I have never in all my Holborn days blamed Clemson losing in any sport, any game. I've never blamed it on the schedule and never blamed the refs. I never have and I never will. That's childish, and that's just people that don't want to admit their team got beat. Well, the FPI is kind of the same way. You're giving these teams credit for playing great teams or playing in a great stadium on the road or maybe a neutral site game. But if they lose and the season's over and they're 7-5, who gives a darn where they're ranked in the FPI? Nobody cares. Ain't nobody gonna say, well, put that team in because they were 7-5, but according to FPI, they're number 1. No, you lost 5 games. You're not making the playoffs. So to me, the FPI is the most useless thing in all of college football. But that top 10 countdown is for all of you that think the FPI is important just because you're a college football fan, and every category you see, every stat you see, every top 10 you see means something because it's college football. Any thoughts on this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. If a music lovers group goes on vacation, would they take the Crazy Train, the Yellow Submarine, or the jet airliner? And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.